Hit the buttons.
Hello and welcome back to the Remembering Tuscola webcast. I'm David Porter. I'm here with Mike Carroll and Bill Englehart, our local historians. We'll see if we can stump them today.
Stumpy and Stump too.
Cheech and Chong are going to give it their best.
Yes, we will.
I would like to dedicate this week's webcast to my friend Lee Milner, who passed this week. Won't mean anything to people watching this except me, but when I was 18 years old, I went to Springfield for an internship with the State Board of Education. And Lee was my boss at the state board. He was the special assistant for public affairs, and he and I remained close ever since for more than 40 years. And he gave it up this week with pancreatic cancer.
Did you go see him last week?
I did go to see him last week. And just to give you an idea of who Lee Milner was, the governor declared Lee Milner Day in Illinois a week ago. The mayor declared Lee Milner Day in Springfield. The FBI was planning a reception for him for May 1st that he didn't make it. The Capitol correspondents in the State House threw a big to-do for him. One of the local papers, Illinois Times, had an open house for him a few weeks ago, which I attended. He was loved by everybody, and in fact, he was a Democrat, but I think it was probably because he was 78 when he died, so I think it was probably his 70th birthday party. Governor Bruce Rauner, a Republican, crashed the party because he wanted to stop in and say hello and wish him well. He just, that's the kind of guy he was. He got along with everybody and well respected. And I was privileged to have had him as my first boss through the internship, and to have him coaching me for the last 40 years.
I can't wait to die now if Dave would do that for me.
Well, Dave and I have talked about it, and
Hurry up.
Maybe a milkshake at Gus's, and that'd be about it.
Well, I thought you wanted to read my eulogy at my funeral, Mike.
Your eulogy?
Yeah,
I'm glad to give your eulogy. Well, that was awful nice. I know you made a ton of friends in Springfield. You had quite a career in Springfield that people in Tuscola don't know about. I'm aware of, and probably it was a pretty heady place over there, wasn't it? Rubbing elbows.
Well, and I was talking to Lee's wife Cindy earlier today, and I remember one of the first things Lee told me was, because I am 18 years old, and the internship was, there's about 80 in the class, and the governor had an intern. All the top state officials had interns, and they were not just, collecting paper clips and doing clerical work. They really got them involved. I mean, one of the things that I did as an intern was wrote a speech for the governor. And Lee took me everywhere, made sure I was by his side. But one of the first things he told me, he said, politicians put their pants on one leg at a time, just like the rest of us. Yeah, they're in office and they're a big deal, but they're human too. And
you got the internship. I think I told you going into my senior year at Eastern, Gove's Raiders, U of I professors, I think Sam Gove, they rewrote the Illinois Constitution. Remember that in 68?
Yeah, I remember that. I was 3 years old.
Yeah. But anyway, two of us from the political science department drove over with Joe Connolly, Democrat, professor and a high Democrat, to Springfield to interview. And the two of us were Jim Edgar and I. And Jim Edgar was the Republican. I was the Democrat.
Yeah.
And I went into the interview with a copy of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
Yeah.
And I was interviewed by a guy named Buckley, conservative. He says, I see you're reading the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Says, well, I don't read it a lot. I realized I was in the wrong room with the wrong paper. Edgar got the internship with Gove.
Yeah. Well, the
And
program
I want to be a small town attorney.
at the end of the program, they had a ceremony for graduation. And I don't know why, but they asked Lee and I to roast each other. No other interns and their sponsors did that, but I think they all knew that, you know, Lee and I had a really good, close relationship, and had a lot of fun with each other. And he taught me a lot of things. He taught me things like why should state employees not look out the window in the morning? Because they won't have anything to do in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I was, watching the bureaucracy churn away. When I worked for the Corps of Engineers, I remember Bob Worthington, the contracting officer, told me, he said, working for the federal government is like swimming in amber. You know, it's just very slow and everything. Well, David, you said we got a lot of pictures.
We've got a lot of pictures to get to, and I'm a little short on time, so let's get to them. I've got a lot of these are portraits, but then some of them are not. They're some of these are older, but I think you'll get a lot of them. But we'll see what happens here.
Don't put pressure on
No
us.
pressure.
Yeah, we're getting older.
I'm gonna guess you'll be at a solid 95% on these.
That's Abe Lincoln right behind you. Is
That's
it?
not
Wait.
Abe Lincoln behind me.
I don't think it was.
You've already missed. You've already missed the first one.
Roosevelt.
He's wearing a stovepipe hat. No,
Roosevelt.
he's wearing a stovepipe hat. That's back in the 60s, 1850.
Uncle Joe Cannon.
Uncle Joe Cannon. That's what I
Ding,
thought.
ding, 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 ding. Uncle Joe Cannon. That's an original drawing in watercolor by John Owe,
Wow, neat.
Tuscola graduate. All right. You'll know this first one.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I got
Doc
it right,
Steiner.
Tom.
That's Walter Steiner.
Walter G. Snyder.
Smoking a cigarette, Walter, will shorten your life.
You'll
I'm
die.
sure.
young.
You'll die. You won't make it to 30.
You won't make it to 30.
This was 1955, back when they thought cigarettes were healthful.
Yeah.
And
Pure anxiety.
I'm sure there was a point where he probably would rather not had a cigarette in his hand during this photo shoot.
That was the doc that kept Bill from
Yeah.
getting hired where?
Lost a good job. Panhandle.
Panhandle.
Gordon got hired and I didn't.
Yeah, you and I have a couple loser stories today. I
Well,
lost to Jim Agnew, lost to Gordo.
There you go.
Oh, there's
Dean Ziegler.
Dean Ziegler. Boy, when did they take these?
Now, when did they take these? These
Yeah.
are wonderful.
This one,
pictures.
1955.
Did they call in the Tuscola business community or leaders or whatever?
Well, these were from Pettit Studio.
Oh, okay.
So these were
Did you
portraits.
say 65?
55.
55.
Mhm.
Yeah, these are wonderful. He was a wonderful photographer. He was a real professional.
And the negatives are very big negatives.
Yeah, he had a large format.
Mm.
I think I know her.
I
But
do too, but I can't.
give
I
us her
can't-
initials.
No,
DV.
Van Voris.
no,
No.
Van Doris.
Nope.
I don't know.
He lived
Well-
across the alley from Joe Caldwell.
Oh, that was the who were those girls called? They're
Van Zandt.
no, you know the house. It's the second house in. From
Next to the Italian.
there's Italian one more than the third one. The
Can't tell you.
Grace Weiss.
Grace Weiss. That was the third house in from where Tom who lived in the Italian house.
Tom Bennett lived in
Tom
the
Bennett.
Italian house.
Harriet Sluss,
I'm trying to think.
Harriet-
Yeah, that's Harriet Sluss.
Tuscola graduate, went to Northwestern and hired back in Tuscola in 1921, 22, taught me Latin.
And we usually pass her every Thursday afternoon.
She's right out the cemetery. We say hi to her. Minerva was her mother's.
Photo was 1962.
Okay, so they're different days,
Wow.
years. Miss
Mhm.
Sluss, Harriet Sluss. She lived. Bill and I both want the house she and Miss Magnuson lived in. We both is probably our favorite house in
Daggy
town.
Street.
Big 2-story yellow house. It just looks like Americana. Well, there's
Oh, Harley.
Harley Hammock, superintendent of schools, went over to Springfield, got a job in the state, didn't he?
Nice. Yes. And what a nice man.
Yeah, straight up.
Yep.
Mr. Slusky?
No,
Oh,
that's, oh, God dang, that's, oh, Jamie, Clyde,
Close.
Clyde.
Initial for last name?
H.
I just can't think of his name, but I remember him.
Not Clyde, is Claude.
Claude.
Hawkins,
Okay.
Claude
Claude
Hawkins.
Hawkins. He's
Claude
right.
Hawkins and Marie.
Mhm.
You were close. We'll give you half a point on that one.
Well, we got it, Claude Hawkins.
Yeah, after I gave it to you.
You gave me the H.
Uh,
Oh, that's one of the twins.
That's one of the Brinkleys.
That's one of the Brinkley boys. I don't know which one.
Yeah. You know what? He's got some things on there. I think he was pretty active in World War II.
What were the two names?
Harold?
And Paul?
Mm,
Which Brinkley's that?
This is Harry, 1945.
What a great man. I tell you what, those are great photographs. Don't you think that's high
oh,
quality?
that's great. That's Harry Brinkley. Armin Bear.
We've talked about Armin Bear, and I went to Ronnie Wynn's visitation, and Steve Bear. I hadn't seen Steve, and
Did he come back?
Steve came back for Ronnie Wynn, and
Oh, I'd love to have seen him.
we talked about his dad, and I said your dad might have been one of the nicest guys I ever met. Gentle.
I grew up on Buckner Street with Steve and Bear, both kids, and Celeste was a little girl, Jeff and Bob
and
Steve.
Celeste.
But I'm telling you, Armin Bear was a
Class act.
fine fellow.
What a gentleman.
Yeah. Does Steve look like him now?
No, Steve's got white hair. Still got his hair a bit little white. That is, not Adams, is it?
No.
Don't know.
Dumped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
P.S. Meister. Is the
George
name on the-
Meister's dad, brother.
1945. The name
His
on the envelope is P.S. Meister.
Could be his dad.
That would be his dad. A stern taskmaster, it looks like to me.
Mm-hmm.
We'll check that out this afternoon. Oh, God. Bob Stout is a young man.
Is that Bob Stout?
Yes. Right?
Well, the name on the, let me double check the
Well, it looks like Bob.
Looks like it.
the
But
name on the envelope is Warren Payne.
Oh, now he's lived in the house, remember, in the front window.
he lived down by the co-op on the
Yeah.
Park Street, and when I was in high school, the Baptist church, we Christmas serenaded him. He was in a bed in a window on Park Street.
He was bedridden.
right across from the Senior Citizens Center on the
By
west
the way,
side.
look at his hand. It looks like he might have, cerebral palsy or something like
Good.
that.
It was some sort of a paralysis. Bob Taylor informed us of who that was at one time. So did Howard.
Yeah. Guys better than us knew him.
Yeah.
With better Tuscola memories.
And that was 1952 on that envelope.
Okay.
Oh, that's Sandy.
That's Homecoming Queen, 1955, Tuscola High School. Sandy Decker. Sandy
DeBolt.
DeBolt. Looks like her senior picture.
That's
55.
1952. I think she graduated a little later than that, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Well, I've got the
54.
1955 book in there. She's homecoming queen.
She's in my mom's class. So
That's a good picture, isn't it? Oh man. How do we lose track of
Would
people?
you wear a t-shirt if you want me to?
I don't know. I don't think so. But who is that? Oh.
We give.
you give
Well, give us a hint.
Father Casey.
Oh boy, I never saw him in his t-shirt.
I never saw him like that.
I
but
thought that was,
I
yeah, I
knew
was
that
curious
face.
because it's got father. I can't really read the name. It looks like James, maybe Casey.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
his name.
And I thought, well, that's a little unusual to have the father pose in his t-shirt.
Yeah. Father Casey, you didn't have to be Catholic to like him. He was quite the character.
Good golfer. They said he
He played golf.
They said he go play golf once or twice a year and shoot in the 70s. They said he's a good athlete.
Well, I shoot in the 70s too, Mike. If it gets any colder than that, I go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was very popular in Tuscola, very well liked.
Very well
by
liked.
everybody else.
That's an old picture on the east side of the library. That's so old that the post office isn't there.
Yeah, there's the post office.
1945.
Well, the post office was built in 41, 39.
I think that's the
39.
That's the post office, the old
It is.
library.
It's by the library, but this is like in Rick Marsh's side yard, isn't it?
Yeah.
The name on the envelope is Everett Long, photo of wolf.
A wolf.
Looks like
Apparently,
a small wolf.
well, that's what the envelope says. It looks like
Fox, in between a fox and a coyote.
well,
Man, it doesn't look like a wolf.
Uh,
You know what we saw yesterday on a Route 45 going to Arcola?
Bigfoot.
no,
It might as well have been Bigfoot. He had a big tail. A beaver had been killed.
really, you don't see them very often.
No.
Big tail.
I remember this fellow when he was older.
I remember when I was younger.
Yeah. Didn't tell me who it is.
Played softball with him.
Yeah.
Well, what's his face?
Double check this envelope had gotten wet and damaged the negative.
Mm-hmm.
And this
It's dated March 7th, 1940. The name on the envelope is Vernon. It's a little hard to read. I want to say Cooch.
Vic,
did you say suits?
Cooch,
give me
the C.
Cooch?
Yeah.
Would that be Harry Cooch's or Fred Cooch's brother?
In my
I'll
hand
show
was
you the
1955. It's a blue one.
I'll show you the see if you can read it.
That's Cooch.
That's what I thought.
Cooch. Be Fred Cooch's brother?
Hmm.
Well, 1940, so that's been a couple days ago.
Not that long.
No, it's only
Oh, and it's not very
84
long.
years. I like the jacket here.
Bomber jacket.
Mm-hmm.
That's familiar. He's familiar. What's the initials?
Initials JF. I think you will recognize him once I give you the name.
Well, if you give me the last name, I'll know his first.
Pfeiffer.
Jess.
Jess Pfeiffer.
My goodness gracious. What year is that?
1955.
We shot pool with Jess all the
Jess
time.
racked the balls down at Jake's.
Yeah, and it would occasionally play.
Mm-hmm. His son was Walter Pfeiffer, class of 41, who was on B-17s, I believe, in World War II. I forget how many combat missions he was on, and he just passed away not that long ago. he passed away. And then that only left Catherine McCumber,
From the class of
41.
yeah,
Catherine Ellis in the class of 41.
yeah.
These are great pictures.
He
aren't
must have
they?
done a series on Tuscola people, just picking them out.
Yeah.
I've never seen these before, though.
I don't. They were. Thank you, honey.
And they've been, some of these envelopes were sealed. Probably haven't been opened since they were put in there in the 40s or 50s.
Wow.
I mean, they were negative, so the families probably had prints at some point. This is
Who is this gentleman?
1944, Vernon Cooch.
Again,
Is that the same Cooch or is that a different Cooch?
same one.
Yeah, same one, different picture.
Yeah. Oh, that's Ray
McCumber
McCumber
or
or
Don.
or
Don.
Don
I think
McCumber.
it's Don McCumber.
The envelope says Don McCumber, 1944.
Wow.
He was over in Springfield. He was over there with your kind of
People.
rubbing elbows with the powerful.
Nice jacket.
Yeah, nice leather jacket. You guys are doing pretty well on these.
That's the father of that was the father of Jet McCumber and Judy McCumber and Kearns, Barbara.
Post 27. American Legion. Mike, do you know him? We do, but
They give us initials, we
Well,
probably
I'm
figured.
gonna have to shine a light on it. This says Dr. R.M. Mount, 1948.
That's a new one.
Doc Mount, but he was in Tuscola.
Huh.
That's probably who it is, since all the other envelopes are properly labeled.
Yeah, but that is the American Legion Post 27.
Mhm.
I don't know that gentleman.
1944. It looks like it says Ted Teeters.
Peters, Ted.
Ted Teeters is what it looks like to me.
There you go, David.
Hang on. Let me,
Can you see that?
let me put it on,
Oh, big.
speaker view, so. Trying to get it to where you're. I don't know why it's not, letting me put it on, probably because I'm. There we go. Now you're on the now you're enlarged there on the screen.
See Sandy there?
Yeah, that's
Homecoming?
Sandy.
In 1955.
Yeah, 55.
1955.
I think did she graduate in 55 or did she graduate in 56?
Well, here's her senior picture. There's her senior picture.
Well, you're in the D's. Do you see Sarah Dallas in there?
Well, let me look. I see Sarah Dallas, right? County, this way, I think. Let me
Cutting
see.
off her. Yeah, there you go. Right there at the bottom, toward the bottom. Yep, that's my
Yeah.
mom.
Your mom was class of 55.
Okay. Yeah, I can never remember.
Yeah. And there's Sue Cox. Remember Sue?
Mhm.
Pat Donalds. Bill Flynn.
Yeah.
There's Chubb Connor.
Yeah, Chubb Connor was in that class.
That was a good
I
year.
think Larry Little was in that class.
Well, there he is. Larry Little's in it. Bud Long, Rita Stackhouse. Jim Weber. Richard Valentine, he was the homecoming king. Oh, Wayne Vest.
I was gonna say it's a vest.
There's Ernie Von Lincoln.
That was
Oh boy, that's
President.
it.
Irvin. Okay, good class. Sorry.
good class.
Don't know.
Let's see. I thought, did we not do this one yet?
Yeah, you gave us his name and we didn't recognize it, I think. What was it?
Ted Teeters.
Did he have a brother?
Must be
Albert's dad or brother?
I don't know.
What year is it?
1944. Well,
Well,
looks like the name. Some of these names are a little hard to read. They're
it'd be Albert's brother, but
Could be Albert's dad, for all I know. We'd have to look on
Yeah.
Find a Grave, Find a Teeters, and
Yeah.
it'll show that.
I'll give us something this afternoon.
there you go.
Look at that suit.
This is a mobster, just moved into town.
Yeah, and the Cord. He drove a Cord car.
Mm-hmm. He took off his mustache there.
Well,
Initials.
you know who it is.
Well, give me the initials.
WH is the name on the envelope.
Hancock. Hackett. No.
Willis Heacock. I don't know. That doesn't look like Willis.
Go ahead.
Wilbur Hole.
Oh, Webb. He has hair.
Gee, Minnie.
He has
What
hair.
year was this? 40s?
1940.
Well, Webb went to high
No
school.
wonder.
Webb got out of high school in what, 21, 20?
I don't know.
I mean, born in 2021.
Wow.
That's Gail's brother.
Rather dapper.
Yeah.
Well, and I didn't know if there was a Webb Junior and Senior to where
No,
Mike
Webb
was dad.
graduated. No, Webb graduated probably in 30, what, 8,
He was with Sherman,
39?
somewhere in there.
Well, this envelope's dated 1940.
Well,
Couple
Webb
years.
kind of looked old from the time he was born.
Couple years out of high school.
Yeah, I mean, when did he pass?
Well, his grave's right next to Gail and Mabel.
We'll find out this afternoon
'Cause
again.
I don't know that I knew him, but I remember the name. Of course, Mabel was
Oh, yeah.
second grade teacher.
Yeah, Webb's a nice guy. Oh, there's Harry Pate.
Boy, that is
Judge Harry Pate.
Judge Harry Pate.
That's who Arnhem Bear ran for county judge against, was Harry Pate, and Harry got it. And
The rest is history.
rest is history. Arnhem would have been a good judge.
Yes, he would
Very,
have
very
been.
fair, very fair.
Very
judge.
fair man. Well, that's Harry Pate again.
Uh-huh.
His wife's name was Marguerite,
Lived
This-
across from the hospital.
and there's 2 doors or entrances on that house.
Well, every lawyer has to have a back door.
Well, it's a justice of the peace, so remember?
Oh, we got
one
married.
time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The couple drives in at midnight. There's Harley Hammock again.
This one, 1955.
That head of hair. Well, he was probably superintendent of Tuscola High School in 55.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like old fashioned days when they had the steam machines, I'm guessing.
I had a comment on this one of me.
There's Harley Hammock. Harley Hammock was superintendent in 55.
And look who's principal.
Reeve Norton.
Barb
let's-
Price commented Major Bragg.
Well, that's the Bragg family out east of town on the way to Camargo.
Right.
Is that you and Greg?
I don't think so. The husband looks familiar a little bit, but no. Help us out.
WK.
Walter Cursine. Campus or Cursine?
Not a. Well, you know what? That's not John Campus, is it?
Nope.
No, I was going to say that's not.
Kellogg.
Help us.
Kellogg.
I can't stand the suspense.
Wilbur Kleiss.
Well, we ran out of Catholic German names.
Yeah.
And
So who are these two youngins?
Wilbur Kleiss. Well, there's Kleisses and Kleisses.
Well, Janice Moody says Tammy Lambert, great picture of artist, Nun Kleiss, Lambert, John, Stephen, Landy, and Uncle Wib Kleiss.
Andy,
Steve.
I mean, I've got more comments here.
Steve Kleiss was my old brother-in-law. And this is what year is this?
This is
This will tell the story.
1955.
No,
Nope.
Steve would have been about 16 years old then.
Tammy Lambert says, I think mom said she was pregnant with brother Jeffrey J. when this photo was taken. Wib would die from a heart attack a few years later in 1959, leaving Ardith, her mom, a widow with 4 children, the youngest being her at just 6 months old.
Who was that said that?
Tammy Lambert.
Who are the two boys? Who are the two boys again? Steve?
Well, let me go back. It looks like John and Stephen.
John Kleiss. 55. Sorry.
Let's see. As she says, John pictured now lives in Prescott, Arizona, and Stephen Landy pictured now lives in Twin Falls, Idaho. 2 other children being Jeffrey now lives in Chino Valley, Arizona, and the youngest Tammy Lambert now lives in Prescott, Arizona.
I think they all headed west. Go west, young
The
man.
Kleisses? Danny Joe stayed. I don't know. That's the post office.
Looks like about 55.
I remember the mailbox being on the corner like
Well,
this.
you're close. 1957.
That was a good year.
Mhm.
Look at that metal roof with those
Mhm.
snow stays up there. Keep
Mhm.
ice dams. Oh, yeah.
No, yeah, we got that.
I knew you'd get it right away.
That's Shirley Temple.
You double check.
Know
that.
her?
The 1944, the name on the envelope says Mabel Woods. I don't know if that's her or maybe the mother.
Mabel Woods.
Mabel Woods. What year did I say? 1944.
Would have graduated in high school about 61. Curly hair.
Yep. Oh,
Good
no.
picture.
There's a Marine.
Yeah, there's a Marine that saw some action. It's 45.
This is 1944. Frank McQueen, Mary something Steinberg.
That's Frank McQueen. That's Ronnie's dad.
Ronnie McQueen's dad, I think. Ran the chicken house, didn't he?
Well, his dad did.
Frank,
E. Ray McQueen.
E. Ray ran the chicken. And Frank, did Frank wind up selling cars out in Arcola?
He sold cars.
I think he had a car dealership in Arcola.
Did Ronnie come back for
Yeah,
that?
Ronnie. No, I saw Ronnie at the about a year or two ago get one, and
We sat with him.
sat with him. Ronnie used to play in a band in high school. He was way back when Elvis and the Beatles were here. Ronnie had a rock band.
He played, yeah, but he played with some big names too, I
Yeah.
think.
Frank McQueen.
Don't know.
Yeah, let me double check the envelope, make sure I got the right picture. And the name on the envelope, this is 1943. Harry King.
Harry King?
King and Wills.
Wills.
King.
Yeah, that's King and Wills.
Insurance. And
So
Joe,
is that Johnny King's dad?
Joe married his daughter, I think, right?
Joe married
King.
Barb Van Gundy.
Oh, Van Gundy. Yeah,
that would be Rhodey's father-in-law. That'd be Johnny King from Arcola. Mertz's grandpa,
yeah.
Nancy Mertz's grandpa. We don't know who this is.
Well, that's not you, is it?
No, it's not me. Yeah. I wouldn't wear that sweater.
Well, look at those. You could poke someone's eye out with that shirt. Give us initials in the year. We'll guess it.
RS 1949.
RS?
Mm-hmm.
So he graduated in the 50s.
49.
That'd be Denny Dietrich's class in 51. Let me see. Come on, there was 51 would have been 52. That would have been Helm.
I don't
Stackhouse?
think we get it.
That the Stackhouse boy.
Russ Stackhouse.
Wow.
I want to tell a real quick story about Russ. I think he was a genius.
Not in dressing.
No, most geniuses are very bad with clothes, but he was brilliant. I don't know what I heard. Some Stackhouse had a breakdown or something, and I heard my mom in the beauty shop talking about how brilliant he was. And somebody gave a theory that your mind is like a circle. You get brighter and brighter and brighter. If you get too bright, it comes back to the start. And I was always worried about getting too bright after I heard that story. So I quit studying. I quit learning. No, I think he was brilliant. I think he was a genius. Yeah, but I didn't know.
Perry Stackhouse's son.
Perry Stackhouse ran DeKalb.
Good putter.
This is give me just a second here. We've talked a lot about AI, and this would be a good picture to do that on.
Here's his sister, Rita.
You got his sister there?
Yeah. Right there. I believe that's his sister.
Okay.
55.
Let me show you something that AI can do these days. I hope that's the same.
Well, that's amazing what AI can do.
Huh?
That's amazing what AI can do.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Okay, hang on. Can you see that?
Yeah. Give him a beard. You gonna put Bill's head on him? He's gonna put your head on him.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That sweater.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you can do the color.
Yeah.
Just color, just in half a second, colorize the picture.
Put Bill's head on him.
Well, that might take a little bit longer.
And then put him inside a church.
Sweater still doesn't look good.
Well, not bad. Did you see his picture of his sister, Rita?
I did. You showed the picture. I think
In that house where
Frank Lincoln lived.
Frank Lincoln lived
Yeah.
and Big John. Because there were
John
Perry
Wilson.
Stackhouse
John
putters in that house.
Yeah, John Wilson lived there. That is a picture of a country road.
And about a 49 Chevy.
There's the old iron bridges they used to have.
Yeah.
We'd walk those. We'd dare each other to walk across those. And then we hop one-legged across them.
I bet we wouldn't hop one-legged across them now.
Oh, I bet we couldn't get up there. Have to have a crane and a backhoe. Okay, you get us up there.
Karen Wynn says she thinks this is the Egyptian trail heading south. Wynn House on the left. John Winky lives there now. I think a Wynn lost his life in a wreck at that bridge, but not sure. The name on the envelope was Troy Tim,
Troy Tim was the road
He
commissioner.
was road commissioner. Yeah.
1952.
Yeah, Troy Tim.
Now this says it's a bridge 1 mile east of Galton.
Well, let's look here a
Let
second.
me think about it.
I don't, the trouble is they've replaced these bridges now with little culverts you can't really see.
I like her explanation.
I can't tell.
Well, I
Got a
do
lot
too,
of
but the
trees and
envelope
the house
says
sits way back off the road.
That could be anywhere around Tuscola.
all east of Galton. The envelope says.
There was a famous movie, East of Galton,
East of
Yeah.
Galton.
or maybe it was East of Eden.
Might have been east of Eden.
They're both the same place. Galton and Eden are the same.
Oh, yeah.
1955.
Initials.
It's a teacher.
N
Well,
NS.
is that Mrs. Stackhouse?
Not a Stackhouse,
Sturgill,
not a Sturgill.
Slutsky.
Soboyski.
Now, when I said Slutsky, I was serious.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mel Sterling.
never heard that name, did you?
No. Don't know if that's her.
She came in from here.
Okay, that's
Here we
first
go.
of Company C, it looks like.
Oh, boy. They were going
That's a pretty good
overseas.
guess, Mike.
Hey, wait, look, I actually, without looking down below, I can see
I
some
can
of these
see
people
some of
right
these
now.
guys.
That first guy on the left, I'm not looking down, that's Keith Tingley, Elmer Weber, Mr. Flume. And
That's Johnny Miller over here.
Johnny Miller. The guys in the front
Walter Flume is Chester Dale Anderson.
Look at Bob. That's Bob Weaver.
Bob Weaver in the second row, and then this Gaylord Swihart back here.
I can't tell.
Well, we've got the second part of this picture on another. They split this into two pictures. So
Let's see the update.
this one and that one.
These guys are being sworn into the guard. Johnny Miller's got on a letter sweater.
1947.
Moss Burris is in the picture. Third row. 1, 2, 3. Dale Burns, Carl, Jim Miller, Eugene Brady, President.
Bob Weaver. There's Bob in that back row.
I recognize a lot of names in the caption.
Is Henry Whitaker, is that the guy we called Popcorn Whitaker that lived down there in the big house off of Cary Cove? It was the last house in town. We go
Yeah.
down and eat those apples.
You can still go down and eat them. They're still on the ground. They've been there 40 years. Nobody's ever raked it.
This was a
Go back to that earlier one though. The earlier one has the
It's
old
Marcy and Hausman.
look at that Keith Tingley, handsome guy.
I'll do it
Elm-
up.
Elmer Weber wound up. Now, who was in the Battle of the Bulge? Bastogne. Was it Bernard Elmer? Was it Elmer?
Junior, who's
Well,
Elmer
that's
Weber
Elmer.
Junior. Yeah.
Elmer was at the Battle of the Bulge, the second guy in. Walt Flume.
It just amazes me the technology, because this was a newspaper clipping that somebody photographed with a 2.25 format film camera. And then this is a digital cell phone picture of that negative.
The pixels start getting worse
Yeah.
and worse.
Yeah, every time you take a picture of a picture, it loses a little something.
Yeah, the pixels just
But of
evaporate.
course, being on newsprint, it's not going to be good quality to take a picture of it from the newsprint anyway.
Well, even though they're on the National Guard, Elmer Weber wound up in the Battle of Bastogne. So how did?
Back in the time when this was printed, they would have been printing at probably a 60 line screen, 60 dots per inch, which is pretty coarse.
Here's what Mike's asking this question. Here's some Tuscola history for you. Junior Weber was in World War II. He was in the Battle of Bastogne. And so this is the guard unit, and these young guys are signing up for guard. Well, little did they know that they would be deployed to Korea during the Korean War. Because I know Marcy and Hausman, Carl Barbie, Carl Connor, those guys all went.
Yeah.
They all went overseas.
Oh, Bill. I think Bill Burris.
Bill was after
He
that.
was a senior in '53. Yeah, you're right. So what year was this? 47?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, I've got to go back and think about some of this. But you're right. They started sending the guard. That was new, sending the guard to
Overseas.
There's Dale Burns down there, third row.
Oh, Sandy Sanderson's in there too, somewhere. Clarence Waters,
Martian
Sanderson.
Hasman, and
Yeah.
Charlie Sanderson. Wow, that's full of Tuscola guys.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah.
It really is.
Oh, that looks like Dwayne. Is that Dwayne Dunn on the left and Joe Wills?
Joe Wills.
And I don't know
It's
who's
one of those Kogel. Is that him on the far right?
I don't think it's Kogel.
Joe's got on his golf sweater. Look at that.
Yeah, Joe was always
Ever dapper.
yeah, gentleman's quarterly. Bo Brummel.
So is this
that-
where the moose is now?
Yeah, the old
Bowling out.
Bowling alley.
Howard, we call it Kogel's, Howard Kogel. And is that Dwayne Dunn on the left? He was
Looks
quite,
like
he
it.
was quite a bowler. On the left, the other. Yeah, it says Dwayne on his shirt, I think, doesn't it? Played with golf, still plays golf.
Can't
Pretty
read
good.
it.
Well, there's J.R. North's furniture going on a business sale. Now they're loading it. The train brought the furniture and they put it on a cart and took it
Yep.
down to the store. And
They
that's full.
they even had a JR North sign on the train car, so you know which car it was in.
Yeah, no, they did that, and that's
Pierre
Fulton.
Marquette, Illinois.
And that's and it's furniture. It's marked furniture on the thing
Right.
that says J.R. North, and isn't that Fullerton's elevator right behind
Fullerton
it?
elevator behind it. A lot of these pictures coming up are from JR North. Almost looks like out of their family album or something.
Is that how they used to do it? They would load the
Yeah, they
order
would ship
every year.
the furniture on a train and
Make a sign on the train card.
yeah,
Wow.
Looks
that
like
make
we
it
had a
easy.
TV back in those days.
Yeah.
Make it easy to know which train car to open up.
Yeah. Let's open. Who are you, J.R. North? Well, here's a J.R. North car.
Yeah.
Oh, there's J.R. North store.
Yeah.
You always put the mirrors way up on the ceiling so you never see yourself.
Huh. Look at that old stove for sale back
Yes, yeah, right back in there among the couches is a
Yeah.
stove.
Dad used to hang drapes for
Oh boy, is that Mr. North himself?
No,
her. Oh,
I don't think so. It looks
I
like
don't either.
it's Allison's TV or it looks like a TV.
Well, I was going to say initially I thought it was Mr. Matthews, but it's not him either. I don't know who that is.
Sybil Cochran says it's Roy Molden, radio and TV shop owner. Lois
Yeah.
Molden, his wife, was a piano teacher.
Moulden.
Where was that at?
Yes,
Is that downtown?
Where was his place of business?
Hmm.
I don't
I
remember.
don't know.
I think he was out of business.
Well, by the time we were born, he was, but I mean, by the time you and I were, Bob Taylor would know.
Bob Taylor would know. He's older.
Looks like Duval's, but it's not.
I think
that's-
that's probably JR North.
Could be. That's really original J.R. North. This
Right.
is way back.
When they first opened.
Look at the bridge lamp back there. It's a wonder they don't have some caskets sitting off to the side.
Is this early 40s, J.R. North?
Well, JR North was founded in 1935, I believe.
Oh, that looks like the old. That's the way-
Unless, let's see, on this next picture, it's got 1935. And it says, congratulations,
J.R.
JR
North.
North Furniture Store, 1930. So I don't know if this picture is from 1935 or if they
Well,
started.
I think it was like a
Because this
10-year.
is older than 35.
It looks like.
This is
Yeah.
like late 1800s.
Well, I don't know. That could be in the 1900s.
This is-
Maybe up to,
That's Mrs. North, but it's certainly not 1935.
But that's the way
this
the old 15-foot ceilings. A lot of them had 10.
Right. this could be maybe 1910, 1920, but
Yeah, that
no
looks like-
later than that.
Yeah, that's Victorian era furniture there. Wicker. Yeah, that's old.
So
That's
I
Mr.
think-
North. That's Mr. North. I never
That
saw.
must be Mr. North.
I never knew
I
Mr.
think
North.
it is. I didn't know him either. He died rather early, didn't he?
She ran that store for a long time.
Time by herself.
I know a lot of people wanted to. Tuscola was very supportive of its business people, especially people struggling to keep it going. And
Shirley Quinn says Annette North.
That's
Yeah.
her.
There's the outside.
look at that Philco sign up there.
Mhm. I'll be darned.
Oh.
Look at those meters for the
You know,
city of Tuscola.
Tuscola had a
killing.
long, Tuscola had history. They put the meters up and enforced them, and then the business people yelled about how nobody would shop because they were getting parking tickets. So they took the meters down, And then people would park all day there and leave their car. And then business people yelled about, well, there's staying cars there. Well, then bring the meters back. And then they've gone back and forth with those meters for years.
My
That's right.
cousin,
That's right next to Chez Clarence's right here. That's the
Oh, yeah.
that's the
Nick's.
Flesser's right next to
Yeah.
him to the left.
Not, it's
Yeah,
Nick.
Nick Flesser.
Nick Flesser.
Nick's.
Yeah, Nick's.
well, Becky Dallas Kappa says, my parents purchased the building Dixie Cream Donuts was in from Mrs. North. So I don't know, that's not this building, is it?
No,
'Cause
they could
were
have
around the
the
corner.
other building could have been storage or something around the corner.
First story was rented to Austin Dixon Plumbing, and the second story was furniture storage. Okay, so that's where there's a wooden pulley elevator.
Mhm.
That must have been around the corner where they had their
Donut
storage
shop.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no,
That's Mr. Molden again.
that's 1915 car.
I don't know. It's an oldie.
I don't have any comments on it.
Well, that was the German spy microwave set in the basement of the JR North where they sent spy signals.
Some of these pictures I have coming up are from WDZ, so I don't know if this had something to do with the
Yeah.
radio
gonna
Either that or
station.
Mr. Who was it?
Seibold had a radio station.
Well,
there.
who did Anderson have was he a ham operator?
He was.
Could be Anderson's downtown. He was a ham operator. A lot of ham operators back then.
Yeah.
Catch all the news that way.
Look at those cars. That's
Where are
40s.
we?
That's late 30s and 40s, I think. Well, that's that's the 30s. And that looks like a 40s over there. Maybe early, almost 50,
So I
40s.
don't, was this Pettit's across the street there? Looks like a photography business.
Kodak. It was Kodak Supply. That's about the not the senior citizen building. That was the old Riley Cafe, wasn't it? The old pool hall.
Well, because I think Pettit's had a shop next door to the Hotel Douglas. I
You know
wonder if
what?
that was,
You know what? I think she's on the east side of the old Five and Dime,
yeah,
and north over at Pettit's place. And there's that gap, and the library's over to the right of that.
right.
This is north.
That's what
And
I was
I
thinking.
think that was Pettit's. I think it was Pettit's, and that was their Kodak sign. If you look over her head, I think it almost says Pettit's.
Right. Yeah, I think that's where that is.
I'd
Which
say
is
that's
that
40.
where about where well, I think that's Kelsey's Furniture, one of their buildings, isn't it now?
No, you're looking. No, yeah, they no, the title company's in that building. The
I,
title company,
is
Chicago
it?
Title.
Okay.
Kelsey's is right next door to the left. Look at that. Look at that furniture delivery truck.
That's a dandy, isn't it?
Boy, Dave, that looks like something you'd want to buy.
It does look like something I would want to buy.
In fact, anybody want to buy that, I think.
This one too.
That's where they delivered radios and stoves.
Now, I remember she had, not necessarily that one, but I think there was another one.
You know, look
Yeah.
at this. Tuscola used to have these rollout awnings all over town.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
They were wonderful.
how neat.
Yeah,
Keep
you
this
can put in
out.
that
There's
picture.
the old Free Baron up there above the office. See that?
Yeah, blowing out. Yeah. Look at this. Go back to the last photo. What in the world was this built way out here?
Well, I don't know.
Zero in down the alley, zero in down there. They had signs that looked like out over the alley. Keep
It's
going.
hard to tell with this.
Look at that. There's actually a post out there. There's
Right
actually
on the edge of the sidewalk.
and below that, there's a cafe sticking out. They used to stick their signs out sideways like that. I think the city came along and I don't know when zoning, they made them put them up against the
Huh.
building. Well, that looks like Mr. North on his, getting ready to go across America.
Sign in the window says bargain day or bargain bay, something.
Well, in the 40s, you bought your furniture in Tuscola.
That's what you did.
You didn't go out of town because there wasn't.
Mr. and Mrs. North with their child, and I don't know anything about the child.
I don't either. Oh, there's WDZ.
Ah,
There's
there you
Sherman.
go,
There's
Sherman.
and
His brother.
There's Smiley Burnett.
Yeah, and Mrs. Bush and
Second
Mr.
from, second from
Froggy.
left is Smiley Burnett.
Froggy. Now, who's Sherm's brother? Which one's Sherm?
On the
This one,
right.
right, Sherm.
Did you work for Sherm?
I worked for Sherm. Yeah.
You had to repossess cars, didn't you?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Well,
You ever get shot at?
no.
You always take Skinner with you?
Midland Guardian.
Midland Guardian. The
Out of
repo man.
Ohio. Repo.
Repo man.
Yeah, I did a lot of things.
This is an interesting photo. Tuscola history.
But well, Mr. and Mrs. Bush, very popular pair. That's
Miss-
Mrs. Kearns.
Mrs. Kearns.
Lois.
Lois Kearns.
Mhm. Loyal employee of the TNB.
Is that Bill McCarty on the right?
It's a young Bill McCarty on the right.
My goodness gracious. And we should know the guy he's with.
I don't have the name on that one.
Lois worked out at TNB for years and years.
Over 40.
Yeah.
In fact, she might have worked here 50 years.
But you can see, I left some of the background on these because you can see this. This is a photo of a photo of a photo.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that's a strange, that's like a photo of a Kodak.
I wonder if they could make us look better.
I think Dave's been messing with the filter, trying to get us to take the wrinkles out.
Mm.
Well, let's try and see what this is, a barbershop quartet. You know, that looks like Harley Hammock, second from left, but I don't know. Is that Mr. Grubb? Second from left.
Floyd Grubb.
Floyd Grubb.
The first guy is Herman Slutsky.
We got to get that Slutsky guy in.
Yeah, I've been wanting to. You have names?
I
We
just
think-
have third from the left. Dorothy Feeler says it's Claude Chilcote. Chili, my great uncle, worked at Firsties.
I think the second from the left is Floyd Grubb, but that's just a,
See, I was right about the Firsty part. Slutsky works at Firsty. I knew that.
no, first he worked at Slusky's.
Firsty. Firsties. You know where Firsties was?
Downtown.
Well, it was right there where Rachel Ray's got her place.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Right next to it.
Mhm.
You know, that's a TNB guy.
This looks like the uncle in It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the angel.
No name on that one or this one.
It's like Dunn's drugstore.
Dunn's had little tables. out
Or
front.
it could be the drugstore.
It could be just drugstore.
Well, you know, there was
Mills.
Mills drugstore and Dunn's
Right.
drugstore, and they looked exactly, they both had little soda fountains with little tables.
Every drugstore had a soda fountain.
Yeah. And there it looks like 3 cents for a cake.
It
It's
says
Tom Van Boris running for circuit clerk.
young Tom Van Vorst running for circuit clerk. 1875 prices, it says, maybe
Coffee is 3 cents.
3 cents.
3 cents for coffee, 3 cents for cokes.
Hey, there you got a photo of a guy taking a photo.
A photo of a photo of a photo of a photographer.
Look, see him back here. That's Burl Mills back here. Burl
Yeah.
Green. I mean, Burl Green taking a photo.
Well,
it don't matter to me. That's when we had
Oh, that's a Deucingers. That's
uh,
O.B. Smith.
O.B. Smith, Deucinger
Oh,
looking
what a
across
neat
it,
picture.
looking southeast over at Kelsey's store,
Yeah, and
the old Chevrolet thing.
oh my goodness, Mr. Smith.
This is got to be 40s, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
O.B. was a great guy. He lived 2 houses away, 3 houses away from his shop.
What a simple life. He'd go every summer to Hayward, Wisconsin for 2 weeks to fish. And then come home. He was active in the community, city council, Masonic Lodge. What a nice nice
He
man.
just blended into the fabric of
Yeah.
Tuscola. When you think of old Tuscola, there's OB. And
That's old Tuscola to me because we
The,
lived next door to him when he was building that station.
I worked at funny thing, I worked at
You
that
worked
station for
there.
Dew Singer. That's where you and I,
Yeah, it's a collision.
when you and I talked about girls driving us nuts, I also bought that thing. Mark Petty and I bought that. And
You bought that corner?
and tore it down and built the clinic. Yeah, Petty and I.
So you owned that corner?
Yeah, we remember when they dug
Oh yeah,
the hole in the ground and
yeah.
everything.
They had to get rid of the
Yeah.
gas.
Yeah,
upper right would be, you can see the Hotel Douglas.
that's the back of the Hotel Douglas.
Those were good times. That's
And
I
there's,
don't know. That's probably mid-50s.
I think it's almost late 40s.
Might be.
See those cars? That's looking northeast from OB Smith Standard Station.
Well, this house, which belonged to Mrs. Gray, Mr. and Mrs. Gray,
Mhm.
that's across from the house where we live. That's Blackwell's on the corner. You seen that mess out in front of that house?
Yeah, somebody bought it's for sale. The house, the house next to it, the two-story house next to it is the Sears catalog house.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Blackwell.
You'd order it from Sears catalog and they would send you the lumber and
Mhm.
everything needed, the windows, and you'd build the house. Putting it together was kind of hard.
Mm-hmm. It would be.
Look at the old Coke sign. That's got to be like,
Look at that old car.
that's gonna be like 4951, something like that.
Yeah.
That house was for sale. This is
Oh,
that's
Doc
right.
Baker.
That's on the
That's where Don Bentz had his barber shop too.
east side of Main Street.
Right across from the Candy Kitchen,
Mhm.
next to the alley. Doc Baker.
I like his advertising. Looking for, oh, that's the homecoming. Looking for a victory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, Doc Baker. Well,
I would bet that's Nancy Smith.
yeah, that's a picture of a picture, and that you know why? Because that is also from OB. That's OB
That's
Smith
OB's station.
looking straight east over at.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lonnie Von Lincoln's daughter lives there now.
Yeah, on the corner.
Sure looks like the house, doesn't it?
That's it.
That Nancy would have been. Oh, here we go. See this optometrist is actually blind. The girls are looking at the camera. He thinks he's looking at the camera.
Yeah.
No, he's looking at the sunset. Who was that optometrist?
Did you have any comments on that last picture of that
No.
little girl?
No,
Nobody said Nancy Smith. We think it's Nancy.
That's Nancy. That's OB Smith's daughter.
And we think that's probably 1939 or 40, 38,
She
30,
just
passed, let's see, she was in Burris's class.
53. So that'd be about
35, 1935,
35,
36.
late 30s. Yeah. Okay. That's, is that Mr. Baker?
I don't know.
yeah,
Another picture of a picture.
I can't really read the plaque, but it could be bigger. I don't have any comments.
Now, this is 1975. This is the homecoming dress up. My God, this is 18. I'd say this is 1890.
Yeah, I don't think this is dressed up old fashioned. I think this is.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
This looks like look at that. Look at that great big awning we talked about. How they had to tie it back and pull it.
Look at that great big guy there.
Yeah, that was who ran for president.
Eric Alexander, this is just funny. He says it's Mother from the campy 60s British spy series, The Avengers.
It is. The big guy is President Taft came to town.
Yeah, does look like Taft. And this was like a conductor on the railroad there?
I don't know.
Negative
tell
is
you what.
not very good, but
Yeah, there's parts of it that are clear. The big guy is clear, a good shot.
yeah,
It's like
interesting.
the lens. It's like the lens was. Oh boy,
Oh man, that's the old school.
that's the old,
Union School.
Union School.
and that's Niles Avenue, and they had mud roads.
Look at them driving that team
See,
of horse.
occasion-
They're taking hay to, they're, looks like they're hay
I
baling.
wondered if it was broom corn, maybe.
Broom corn, I don't know what it is, but the history of roads in Tuscola, it was mud, and then it was, they put down railroad, they put down wood, then they put down what, leather, what they put, I mean, they put down all kinds of stuff trying to get the roads good.
Interesting picture, though.
You didn't wear patent leather shoes back then.
Not then.
This is a grand opening.
Oh,
Nice.
that's Gene Carpenter in the back middle,
That's Gene
and that's
Carpenter.
his dad on his at the end on the left.
This is the opening of Carpenter's
Yeah.
clothing store. And this is, come on, we know her.
Well, I don't.
Logan.
You know the girls in the front.
Well, one of them looks like Logan.
No,
That's Tommy Moody.
Toppy Moody on the left.
You got them both, Marilyn Moody and Virginia Logan.
Virginia Logan.
You guys
And
did pretty well.
Yeah. Gene was a wonderful, wonderful
And
guy.
you know what? The lady on his shoulder is Hilda Foster.
Oh, I think you're right.
And she worked there in the 60s when my folks worked for Gene.
Worked there a long time. Now, Bill, did they sell clothes or flowers?
Well, it looks like it's either, this might be a funeral the way it looks.
This
You know,
is a
Gene-
grand opening, so people
Gene
sent
was-
flowers for
Gene-
the grand opening.
Gene and Tracy were very well liked. He was a gentleman. Wasn't he a prisoner of war in World War
Prisoner of
II?
war, yeah. Went to war with dark hair and came home with white hair.
I bought, in grade school, we bought clothes there.
His birthday's the same as mine, and I had the privilege, if you will, I was a pallbearer for Gene Carpenter.
So this is 1950, so grand opening.
I thought a lot of him.
That's wonderful. This is a
Oh,
Bob
we've seen
Caldwell.
this,
This is a
yeah.
Bob Caldwell picture in here. Bob is third, upper row, third from left. Is the first guy, is that a Polig? Then a man wearing, and then Bob
Mhm.
Caldwell.
Herkman wearing, Bob Caldwell. Can't tell you who the top one is. This is Wetzel on the end, isn't it? Is that Ed Wetzel? Boyd Wiesner's in there someplace, probably.
Boyd Weezer's bottom right.
That's bottom right.
Yeah.
The zipper,
Bob Caldwell was
zippers.
great baseball player. Managed the Yankees, and Bill and I played in Little League.
Joe Caldwell in the back row, Orson Moorhead.
Oh, it's Orson Moorhead, excuse me.
Okay. Then Herkman wearing.
Question mark. Then his dad, R.B. Caldwell, his nephew, Audie Caldwell.
Oh, is that the boy? Now that boy was killed in a World War II. There was a ship that was sunk, a troop ship, which they didn't let it out the news, and it was like over 800 guys drowned.
Indianapolis.
No, it wasn't in. It didn't come out until after the war was completely over, because it was top secret. They were sending these troops over, and I think that's the boy that drowned or was killed in that.
Well, there was a
torpedoed a ship.
There was a Caldwell, really good football player with Bill Huber in 1940. Could be.
Joe says front row, question mark, his dad's nephew, Frank Caldwell. And then more question marks.
Well, like I say, it's bottom right is Boyd Wiesner. Did he have anybody else on the back?
No.
Okay.
There you go. Right there, little corner house. That's where the post office is now. And this big house on the corner is still there, actually.
Well, I thought, because I don't think that's the house on the corner from the post office. I thought that big house is where the post office is, and that
No.
house was moved
No.
across the street.
No. Nope.
Library at the
The
left.
house is the one that was torn down. See the guy standing out in the middle of the street?
Yeah. Okay.
You used to drive by and just hand him your mail. That was before they invented mailboxes. They used to have That's an old picture. Is this from Owie? Where'd you get this one?
This is from the same envelope, but John Owie posted the same picture. It says, the final legal technicalities preventing the transfer of the lots at the corner of Sale and Center Streets to U.S. Postal Department. Let's see, it's pretty long here. Corner house at the right, recently owned by Mr. and Mrs. Pete Jensen, but known to most residents as the old Dr. W. E. Rice home, will be moved across the street to the south. The cottage adjoining the library, a corner of which can be seen at the right of the picture, has been the property in recent years of Modesta
Well,
Trimble
that,
Gilmer, but still lingers in most memories as the home of Mrs. Alice Wells and her father, O.B. Atherton. It will be moved away also.
sounds like if you got Owie on here, we and I could go retire.
I think so.
That house,
He's saying the big house got moved across the street.
well, you know what? But
Yeah.
that'd be the Tom Bennett house, and that was brick.
No,
That's Italiante
what
brick.
he's saying is.
Well, I think it got moved where the
Do you
used to be
remember
an auto body
between,
shop there.
between Headinger's
Well,
and
where Headinger's is, I think.
house where
Two-story
well,
house. That was where,
the two-story house, because I
used-
had to deal with it all the time.
well, they used to, Mabel Hole had a real estate in the basement. Carl Wolverton had a real estate
Carl
office.
Wolverton, yeah.
I'll be darned. So that's not a street there. The street's on down here.
Hmm. Oh, I see.
So there's
Yeah,
the
now we got it.
post office, and
I
this is our
thought-
parking
yeah.
lot. Parking lot.
Okay. We got her.
Yeah.
Mr. Oy convinced us, oh, that is Houdini, Harry
Yeah,
Houdini.
he came to town one Saturday night, got locked up.
Yeah. They were afraid he'd escape, so they put the triple lock on him.
Couldn't get out.
He
Yeah,
got
the-
old. Who is that?
It says many Tuscola residents, specifically those who were children in the late 1930s and 40s, will remember Mr. Kaiser, the wood carver. Usually surrounded by an interested and admiring group, Mr. Kaiser carved and gave as gifts to the children bracelets, lockets, and charms carved from walnut shells or polished peach pits.
Hmm.
Well, everybody needs a hobby.
Yeah. So,
Wow. Looks like, oh geez, I was gonna say J.R. North, but that looks like Kelsey's. Or no, that's the second floor of J.R. North. I'm guessing.
I think that is J.R. North.
That's the second floor. Upstairs.
And bear with me a little bit. I've got to get back to my where I
Another-
was at. No,
Another
okay.
picture of a picture.
Yeah, picture of a picture again. It's interesting they didn't flatten the pictures out to take a
No.
picture of them.
Yeah,
And
parallax.
looks like old waterfall furniture.
Hmm.
Grew up with a dresser like those. And there looks like linoleum.
Yeah, just pull it out, measure it, cut it, roll it up. Okay,
Here we go.
okay.
This
All right.
one is also in two pictures split. in
First
two.
row, third one from the left is Bill Burris.
You're right. He's
Yeah.
just a kid,
That's Weaver,
possibly.
Glenn
Yes.
Weaver. And that's the lawyer's son, lives over at Newman.
Oh, yeah.
Nichols, Bo Nichols.
Bo Nichols.
Bo Nichols. I'm
That's-
going right to left here. Burris, Weaver, Bo Nichols. Not sure.
What's Burris doing with all these old guys?
Well,
anyway?
this may be a freshman or something, going left to right. There's Weaver,
Yeah,
third one in from the second row.
yeah.
Danny Matthews says third from left, second row is Lauren
Bloss.
Bloss.
Gloss.
This might be the 1949 football team, but Corky Waters should be there. Well, let's see. Burst would have been a freshman. Maybe it's the 50. Let's see what year this is. Bo Nichols graduated in 51.
Marcy Shoemaker says Kenny Ring, front row, far right.
That is Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Looks
She
like
says maybe Bill Burris, front row center, or see farther left.
Fifth one in.
And Jay Hartman says, looks like my uncle Bob Redden, front row, third from right.
I'm saying this is 50, 49, 50, 51.
And Bob Utterback says, I see Dean Utterback, Dean Marlar, Frank Marlar, Kenny Ring, Glenn Weaver, Jim Logan, Bill Matthews, Bud Weaver.
Yeah, there's Bud. Second
Yeah.
row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in. Glenn is next to Bill Burris. Slide left a little bit again. Well, we should see Dick Helm in there if this is what I think it is. I don't know what this is a shot of.
That's in the Masonic Lodge.
Go back to the other one. Slide the other way. Well, if it's Masonic, Dick probably wouldn't be in it.
So I don't know if it's Demolay or if they just had something other event there.
I have no idea.
Well, Burris graduated in what, 53? Bo Nichols graduated in 51. I'm thinking this has got to be, Bo looks like he's younger. Bill looks like a young kid. This got to be what, 40, 48, 49?
Bill looks like he's in 8th grade.
Oh, yeah, he does. 48, 49. There's Carpenter and Sons. Bill's dad worked at Carpenter. Did your mom work there too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Bill's dad and mom worked at Carpenter's.
Yeah. That's Gene and his dad, I'm sure.
Bob Caldwell.
Yeah.
Oh boy, Core Belt Savings and Loan.
Yeah. Look at the light bulb.
They had a Bob, you'd go make a mortgage payment. Bob would take your payment book, car payment, mortgage payment. He'd take your book and he would calculate to the day your interest right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then put your remaining mortgage right there.
Mm-hmm.
No computers. And I don't think Bob, he was ever wrong that I know of. No one ever caught him wrong. And then he was a treasurer, kept track of the school's money for what, 30, 40 years?
The office, now I don't mean this to be offensive, but it reminded me of Scrooge and Marley and working.
Yeah.
You know, they did not leave the office. Everything's very
Well, Bob's
organized.
tenure as a treasurer testified to his A, competence, and 2, his integrity and honesty.
Mm.
You knew you never lost a penny.
It's an L.C. Smith typewriter.
Yeah, Bob and Clyde.
They were a pair.
Okay.
Drugstore,
That looks like
Rexall. It's
we-
probably Mills.
looks like Mills is on the
That's
West-
by
by the vault.
it's by the alley.
Across from south of Gus's.
Yeah. Today, that would be the township.
Right. Tuscola Township building.
Laura Van Cleve's working in there.
There's Ruby Caldwell.
I'll be darned.
First Miss Tuscola, 1932. Joe's mother. Who else was in there? Who else? Go back to your other entries were Lois Hardwick, Lois Cruzan, Mary Pickett, Yvonne Smith.
Names don't change, do they? Yeah, Ruby was a
Beautiful woman.
beautiful person, had a wonderful personality, worked at the Carpenters,
And she worked-
1945.
She worked out at
the mall.
Four Seasons for
Yeah,
a while.
4 Seasons.
This is 1932 at the top. But the article down here says Tuscola's 1945 bathing beauties.
She wasn't
No,
45.
no, it's 32.
I wonder, or maybe it says, maybe that's not 45, maybe that's
She
35.
had Ronnie, and
Ronnie was older than Joe by about 3-4 years, maybe 5
so
years.
he would have been born in 42, something like
Yeah,
that.
Ronnie's born 41, 42.
Close up of the picture.
There's Mr.
Marsh.
Marsh, Kurt.
Kurt, yeah.
Kurt Marsh, Rick's dad, and his son is the son who good basketball player with Bill Burris was Kurt, wasn't he also?
Mm-hmm.
About 6'3".
Yeah, he's a big center.
Oh boy, we should know that one.
I don't have a name on this one.
That's the city council
Yeah.
meeting an executive session. Let's see who's on the bench here. I wish that were Bill and I right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what building that is, but it's a cool picture, isn't it?
Those guys are watching the girls go by, watching the life
Yeah.
go by.
We need a bench like that.
Well, you need to put a back on it because that one guy's going to fall over.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a back on it.
Oh, it doesn't look like a comfortable one. Well, that says Tuscola Telegraph Office, but I didn't, and we had a Western Union by the Hotel Douglas, remember?
It's
In the-
telephone.
Yeah, in the
telephone
building
office.
itself.
That might be in the Hotel Douglas there on the north.
That was run by Dick Chaplin's dad was a telegraph operator there, I think.
Well, although the building's newer there by Arntz, I think that was always was a telephone office, even back, in the early days of telephones.
You're saying well, the telephone, the new one was built probably in the 50s, wasn't it?
But I think it was built on the side of the old one.
Oh, you think there's an old telephone office right there?
Well,
this
that's my recollection. That's
Well,
just
this-
looking at the old insurance maps.
Yeah.
The telephone office.
I remember back in those days, they could listen in on you. The operators there could listen in. Didn't your mother-in-law work there for years?
Mhm.
Mrs.
My,
Jean?
my mom was a operator.
Yeah. But back in those days, they could listen in. There's Rick. There's Kurt's
Slick Rick.
Rick Marsh.
Well, that's a good picture. I miss dropping in and talking with Rick.
Rick was had hobbies. He was famously racing.
God.
He got into archery. He got into
Archery.
tennis. He always wanted to buy his stuff. He was into tennis, and he always bought the best. And I remember buying a racket he bought in England. And golf, he had the best golf.
Man, and he would give away clubs to kids.
Yeah, he helped everybody.
Now this is Miller Photo, Tuscola Quality of the Whole Brothers store.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tim
like-
Hole says second from left is
That's his dad. That's
Gail
Keith
Hole.
Hole, second from left.
And
I don't see Webb though. Well, this has got to be about 1905.
1920 something.
No, he was born in the.
Gail Hole was.
Oh, it's got to be in the 30s.
He
Then.
was at Pearl Harbor in 41 in the Navy or
Yeah, he's
Marines.
born about 1919 or 20.
20.
So he's got to be about 35. Well, that is. I wish to know who that is, but that was Patty Hill. Chris's sister was
Pat Phillips.
Pat Phillips was a photographer and had a store for a while.
Well, that's Sarah
You think-
Holmes, isn't it?
You think it's Sarah? I don't know.
Well, it kind of looks like her in the face, but I don't know.
I don't know. And you didn't have anything on it?
No comments on it. And that's this week's pictures.
Dave, those are really interesting.
Yeah, I thought they were fun pictures this week.
They
There
were.
There was some Tuscola history flooding by this week.
Yeah.
And Bill and I, what did we get, Bill? 93%?
A
You
little
did
over.
pretty well.
I was
We
keeping
did pretty
track.
well.
I got a whole nother stack of them to go through
Oh,
Okay.
that'll be fun because those
next
I
week.
just can't get over the quality of those pictures.
Where did you get those at?
These were pictures that Pat Phillips had.
Okay.
And
What
when
happened?
she died, she left them to Randy Hastings.
You
And
still have,
Randy,
you
Randy
still have a
gave them
bunch
to
of
me.
that. You
But
still
see,
have a
they're
bunch.
they're big negatives like this.
Oh, yeah.
So those come
What
out.
happened to the 1965 folder? You still had a ton left in it.
I've got well, yeah, I've got a bunch left in it, and I've got May of 65 here ready. 63 it says. No, 65. And
Okay.
so I got
Oh,
those
that's
to go through
right.
yet. Yeah.
That's my graduation.
Well, you're probably in that envelope.
They probably don't have my picture as valedictorian. I think it was
Well,
missing
you would
that.
need to be
Oh,
valedictorian in
yeah.
order
Oh,
for
that's
them
right. You've got to be
No, like me,
valedictorian.
they overlooked me that
So that's
year.
the
They
problem.
forgot
That's
it.
the problem.
Yeah.
Well, David, so you're saying basically Bill and I have job security for about 6 more months?
Well, I've got a whole year of 65 to get through.
Oh, man.
Well, we can stay on that till I die and then you can go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well, we're still planning the party.
Well, David, I know you got to run, but
I got to run.
great job. We appreciate what you do. We're glad to be part of it. Thanks for letting us be part of it.
Thanks, David.
All right. I hate to cut you short,
Dave-
but I got to
Dave,
run.
how many points do I get for what looking at those pictures?
You
and
get
read-
10,500,000 points.
Okay, so that buys me what, a half a cigarette?
You can trade that in for a pat on the back and an attaboy.
Attaboy and a pat on the back. I'll come by and get my pat on the back next week.
See you,
Yeah.
David.
All right. See ya.